Hey everyone, it's Jess and welcome to this video. I'm super excited about this video. This one I've been wanting to film for a while now. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in. Hopefully I don't get on too much of a tangent. That's been the problem with this video. That's why it's taking so long to get up to you guys. That and last week was a really rough week personally. Just dealing with my boyfriend being sick and then like getting ready to start a new job. It was a little rough last week. So I apologize for not having anything up last week, but we will redeem ourselves this week. So by the way, before I get started, if you guys are into tarot at all, I did start my tarot channel. It'll be linked down below in the description. That way you guys can go to it if you guys want to. You definitely don't have to. It's totally cool. If you don't want to, it's chill. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that I did get that up and running, so I'm really excited about that too. But let's jump right into today's topic. So this is a BU video. BU videos are like where I talk about self-improvement, I suppose. Being self-confident was initially how I started it. But we're learning, okay? We're learning. We've learned a lot in the last few years since I've uploaded a BU video. So, I think mostly BU is just going to be geared towards improving yourself. So, one of the biggest things I learned last year is just valuing yourself, standing up for yourself. Now, with me, or if you're anything like me, when you hear, hey, stick up for yourself, you might be thinking, okay, is that only when people are mean to me? Or what do you mean by stick up for myself? What does that mean? And last year I really learned what it meant. I learned what it meant in all aspects of my life, probably this past few years, but especially last year. And I tell you, life-changing. Like, seriously, life-changing. I will never work for bosses that don't make me feel comfortable, don't value me, that make me feel more like an object than a person. Like, I will no longer tolerate that. I also will not tolerate that in my personal life. I won't tolerate that in my friendships. I won't tolerate it in my relationship. It is just not going to be tolerated. So basically, what valuing yourself means is being like, hey, should I really be being treated this way? Is this right? Basically, the way I view it is like, put your best friend in your shoes. And if your best friend was going through what you were going through, what would you tell them to do? That's kind of my mentality on both situations. Is, think that someone you love and care about is in your shoes. What would you tell them to do? And then take your own advice. So, some situations you might be able to talk about it and work through it by talking. Other situations, you might just not even feel comfortable enough to talk about it. And you might just want to cut ties, move on. That's fine. It's totally okay to do that, because let me tell you, everybody, let me tell you, the most important thing is your mental health. You need to be your best advocate, because that's when you will truly shine. That's when you will truly be your best. That is when you will rise to the top, is when you are your own best advocate. Nobody's gonna advocate for you forever. Like, you might always have somebody in your corner, and that's great, and that's fine, and that's dandy. But ultimately, you have to count on yourself. And if you aren't treating yourself the way that you should be, or you're letting other people bulldoze right over you, you are not being your best advocate. So please, be your best advocate. Examples of this would be, let's say you have a friend and the only time you really hang out is if, I don't know, if they want to go somewhere but they don't want to go by themselves, and that's literally the only time you hang out. I'm saying literally the only time. And maybe you're cool with it for a little while, but then you're kind of like, well, is there more to this? Like, is this all we're gonna do? Like, you know, and then you feel like your voice is not being heard. Like, you guys aren't doing things that you would like to do. You're just doing things your friend would like to do. Okay, this is a very simple example. So what I would say to myself if I was in that in those shoes is, or if my friend was in those shoes, I'd be like, yo, you need to have a talk with this person. And you need to be like, look, I don't mind going places with you because you're uncomfortable going by yourself, but can we please do something like else too? Like, can we please do something that maybe I want to do or that we both want to do? Like, can we do something like that too? And like, hopefully the situation gets resolved. If the situation doesn't get resolved and that person just continues to like be that way and in my opinion use you, then that's when you gotta be like, bye, because it's not worth it, you know? You're basically just giving all of yourself to somebody who's not giving anything back to you, and that's not fair. And it's okay to feel like that's not fair. For the longest time, I felt like I was selfish for thinking like, oh, okay, they want me to go do this with them because they don't want to do it by themselves, but I would rather like go do this, but they don't want to do that. Like, you know, basically when things just don't line up very well and the friendship kind of becomes one-sided, I've always thought it'd be selfish of me to be like, look, can we go do this too? Because I really want to do this. And, you know, at least see where that goes. And then it's okay to be like, look, we're just not on the same page anymore. We're not the same people we used to be. Like, maybe it's that type of situation. It's okay to then walk away from the situation. It's fine. You know, and then maybe that friend will come back around in the future and you can like flourish together. But until they realize that you are valuable, you don't need to waste your time with them. There's just no reason. There's no reason. And a good like work example would be if you, for work, I would say, for example, COVID is a big thing. So if my place of work does not take COVID seriously, that's an issue for me. And I have no problem leaving somewhere if they don't take it seriously. Because ultimately they are not only putting my health at risk, they're putting, you know, their customers or their clients or their guests or whatever the business may be, they're putting them at risk, and they're also putting your coworkers at risk. That's not okay. You know, value yourself enough to be like, this isn't okay. I don't like that you are doing this. And then if it doesn't get resolved, bye, and report them. If you need to report a place that you worked, do it. Do it. Do it. Okay, do it. But yeah, that's important stuff. Like, I mean, that's a little more serious, I guess a little more lighthearted. Maybe you are butting heads with a manager. And I have been in this situation where I'm butting heads with somebody. And it just is, you know, it's locked up. You can't seem to communicate with them. You might try to, and then it gets skewed differently, and then you're the bad guy all the time. Or, you know, maybe you're the good guy all the time. I don't know. But it's just not quite, you know, working well together. It's not like, hey, let's build this together. It's more like, I don't know. But like, you're clashing with maybe a manager, maybe a supervisor, maybe even a coworker. You're clashing with them so bad. You try to fix it by talking it out. Maybe your store has an open door policy where you can talk to the higher up people. Maybe it doesn't. Whatever, you do what you need to do to try to solve the situation. If that situation isn't getting solved and you don't feel comfortable being at work, find something else. Please try to find something else before you leave that job. That's just a smart thing to do. But sometimes you might just need a mental break, and that's fine too. But I encourage you, if you're struggling mentally somewhere and they do have the option for you to take a leave of absence to kind of get things together, that's okay. It's okay to do that. Okay? It's completely okay. I would take advantage of that route before abandoning ship. Okay? Just being honest, I would take advantage of that route. You know, because maybe you will take the month off from that job that you're really stressing out over, and like working on yourself, going to therapy, you know, I don't know, doing whatever you need to do for yourself. And then you come back and you end up loving the job. Like, okay, great. You did not sacrifice a job that you really loved just because you were having a hard time for a moment, you know, or maybe you decide, like, I just need to quit because I am embarrassed that I've had a mental breakdown and I just need to leave. Well, honestly, you're not going to know if it was really the fact that you didn't like the job or if it was just because you were struggling a little bit. So, you know, just make sure you evaluate all options before you leave a workplace. But ultimately, if you aren't being treated the way that you deserve to be treated, if your health is not being taken into consideration, if your happiness is not being taken into consideration, if, you know, I don't know, maybe your place of work requires you to have breaks but you're not getting any breaks and you've talked about it, then yeah, like, move on. Find something better, because you will find something better, I promise. Try to find that place before you leave the previous place, like I said. But if it's totally unavoidable and, like, for example, you don't feel safe at work because there's a pandemic going on, then just leave. You know, it should not be held against you. So, and then lastly, in a relationship, you know, Cody and I, we've struggled. Like, you know, our relationship has not always been perfect. It's not always been great. I mean, I don't think anybody's relationship is perfect. But I will tell you firsthand, we have struggled. We've struggled on both sides, okay? Like, times where I will disrespect him, maybe not meaning to. Times where he will disrespect me, maybe not meaning to. And just, you know, it's like a crap show, right? Sorry, my hair is kind of poofy here, whatever. But, you know, just take, with a relationship, you should never stay in a toxic relationship. Like, if you are in a toxic relationship, you need to find a way to get out of it. Like, bottom line, end of discussion, you need to. Find a way. Whoever you feel safe talking to, talk to that person. They will help you figure out the next step. I promise. Like, if they are somebody you can trust, somebody you can depend on, rely on in this situation, do it. And yeah, it's gonna be hard. You know, it's always hard to break up. It doesn't matter what the breakup situation is. It is always difficult to go through a breakup. So, you know, or even to take a break. It's always hard. But if you are seriously in a rough relationship and it's not getting better and you guys can't communicate and it is just so unhealthy and so toxic, just please find a way to leave. Make sure you are safe. Make your safety is number one. But if you are safe, then you need to figure it out, because it's not worth spending years and years and years in a crappy relationship. Okay? It's just not. But as I was saying, Cody and I, we've struggled. We've struggled a lot with communication. Communication is big, okay? Like, in relationships in general. But basically, we both have different types of sensitivity. So when he's upset, he usually will be angry. When I'm upset, I'll usually be sad. Like, you know, I'll be crying, he'll be yelling. We'll say it that way. Who knows if the emotion is actually anger or actually sadness. But I'll be crying, he'll be yelling, okay? That's just how we are. And we've always been that way. That's our temperament, essentially, I guess. So, you know, when things go too far, that's what we resort to. So what we've learned to do is we have learned to just communicate better. So if he says something that, like, rubs me the wrong way, or maybe it makes me anxious for whatever reason. Like, I have a lot of stuff in my past that creeps up on me sometimes, and I have to be like, Cody, that really made me feel anxious. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm really anxious right now. And then he has learned to be like, oh, no, like, I didn't mean it that way. Or, you know, we talk about it then, you know? Like, he is respectful of the fact that I feel anxious. And then him, when he gets angry, like, we know now that, for one, if I ever feel like yelling, I don't. He tries really hard not to yell at me. Like, we try really hard not to yell at each other because it is a trigger for both of us. Both of us, if the voice gets raised, even if it isn't yelling, even if it's just like how I'm talking to you guys right now, that's a raised voice. And if the voice gets raised, it's a trigger for us, both of us. So we have learned when we're talking about things to talk about it like very slowly, carefully, softly, so that we can communicate with each other, since it is a trigger for both of us. So, you know, I am really glad that I didn't throw in the towel on our relationship, because I'm very, very, very happy. Like, I can't even imagine being with anybody else at this point. Like, I just feel really, really good. And it's just taken a long time to get there, but we got there, you know. We're 3 years in, and I feel like we both feel so stable, so loved, so appreciated, that, like, we know this is probably it, right? Like, that's how we feel right now. We both feel that way. It's mutual. And it's kind of a weird feeling, but it's a good feeling. We don't fight hardly at all anymore. If one of us gets upset, we know to basically how we handle it. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, how we handle it, if one of us gets upset, it is immediately, let's calm that person down, because I'm prone to have panic attacks, and he's prone to get so worked up that he is yelling or driving crazy or whatever. Like, he gets that worked up. So what we do is we're just like, okay, nope, basically, that's like his form of a panic attack, okay? That's how I view it. He panics too. He just lets it out in a different way. So what happens when that happens, where one of us gets really upset, and majority of the time, neither of us are upset at each other. It's normally a lot of other situations just piling up on each other, and then we just get so, like, you know, something triggers it, and we're just like, ah! Yeah, that kind of thing. But anyway, we basically drop everything we're talking about, and we are just there for the other person. We put our whatever we were talking about aside for a brief moment in time so that we can be there for the other person. And I will tell you, that has changed everything. That has made us so much closer, so much loving, so much supporting. Like, things are just so much better, because when one of us gets upset, we're able to be like, okay, cool, calm down. You know, like, we're able to be there for each other. And then we will talk about it calmly later on. If it was that important, we will bring it up again, but we will be more calm about it, and we won't, like, have outbursts or anything. Like, that is really what we do. Like, if I'm honest, is we just basically, we pause, we calm the person down, and then we resume later on when we're in a better headspace. Because majority of the time, like I said, our issues are not with each other. It's like, maybe he had a rough day at work. Maybe I had a rough time with a friend. Like, something like that. And I'm just, like, irritable because I'm struggling elsewhere, or he's irritable because he's struggling elsewhere. But then, like, we might say one thing that just is like, really, why did you want to see that? Like, you know, and then we kind of go off the deep end. Like, whatever, that's what we've done. So yes, like, it's so important to stand up for yourself, to value yourself, to love yourself. That's another thing, relationship-wise, friendship-wise, even work-wise. Once you start vocalizing what you want need, or what would help you, want, need, or help, that's when things really start to change. And that's when things changed with Cody and I, was when I'm just like, stop. I don't like where this is going. Let's stop. Let's talk. I need this, and this would help. Or I want this, and this will help. Or this will help. You know, need, want, this will help. That's like my overall advice. You're struggling at work. Think about what you need from work. Most of the time, people are going to say money or benefits or whatever. What do you need from work? Okay. What do you want from work? For me, I want to get along with my coworkers. I want to do my job the best that I can. I want to do the best that I can for customers. I want to show managers that, like, they can trust me. That's what I want. Okay, and then let's say I'm struggling with something. Ask for help, okay? Ask for help. What will help me? Tell them what will help you. So if, like, let's say you're learning something and it's just not in your language. And what I mean, like, maybe you're not picking it up. So there's different types of way to learn, you know, especially jobs. So every job that I've had, you have computer training and then you have, like, hands-on training. I need both. I need both, and then I need someone to watch me do it and tell me that I did good. Like, I am that person. That's how I learn. I learn by teaching. So I am totally cool with training other people because it means that I got it down. You know, it gives me that, like, confidence boost. So what I would do is I would say, look, so-and-so, look, company, I need this to do my best at work. Or, look, boyfriend, I need this to be the best that I can in our relationship. Or, look, best friend, I need this because you're my friend. I don't know. Like, best friend is a little bit different. I feel like you can be a little bit more direct with your friends and also with your boyfriend. But basically what I'm saying is, I need this so that things can be better. Okay, so just remember, overall, here's the, I guess, summary of this video. Sorry it is so long, but I need this, I want this, this will help me get there. I need this, I want this, this will help me get there. I need this, I want this, this will help me get there. I think that'll help. Keep in mind, I am not a therapist, I am not a social worker. I did go to school for a little bit for both of those, but, like, you know, this is not like professional advice. This is just what has worked for me personally. So just keep that in mind. So one, need, want, and how you can help me. And then that'll overall improve the situation. So keep that in mind as you go through your lives. You know, friends, fix those friendships. If you are given more than you are getting, fix it. Friendships, relationships, work. Fix it. Because you will be so much better off by doing so. And the weirdest thing happens. Like, people see you more. When you are vocal, people see you more. They see you more. So if you say, I need this, I want this, can we help me get there? Let's say at a job. They're going to be like, oh, I didn't know you wanted that. I didn't know that's what you needed. Let's figure out how to get there. Most of the time, if you work for a good company, that's what they're going to do. So that is my advice on valuing yourself. And I hope that you guys followed along. I hope that it was a good video for you guys. But seriously, value yourself, value yourself, value yourself. I need this, I want this, let's help me get there. This will overall help us. Need this, want this, help. Okay? Need, want, help. Alrighty guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. By the way, these little bows are from Shein or Shein. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to just be you. And sorry for this long video, but I hope you made it through. Hopefully it was of use to you. If you want, you can share, like, comment, subscribe, follow the other things that are in the description box. All right, guys, love you very, very much, and I will see you next time.